Today, we are going to make a couple of super delicious seafood recipes.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Totally. Let's get started.
Well, I'll be making a family meal of citrus teriyaki shrimp zoodle salad with strawberry cheesecake frozen yogurt for dessert.
And, drumroll please, I'm going to be making a date night dinner for two, maple walnut crusted salmon with oven baked zucchini fries, and for dessert, because we have to have dessert,
Of course.
chocolate coffee truffles.
That sounds really, really good.
Yours sounds fantastic too. Teriyaki is always a win in my house.
And actually, my seafood dinner can be made for less than $30.
Mine too. Let's do this. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the ALDI YouTube channel. To start, I always prefer using fresh salmon, and ALDI has a great selection of fresh, never frozen salmon. I recommend letting the fish reach room temperature and having it sit on the counter about 15 to 20 minutes before seasoning it. This way it's going to cook more evenly throughout. For our marinade, we are going to mix up our ingredients first before we put them in the bowl. I've got here 2 tablespoons of syrup, 1 tablespoon of vinegar, and some of this beautifully freshly zested orange peel. We're gonna give that a little stir before we put it to the salmon. All right, we're gonna pour that right over top, and then we're gonna put this in the fridge and let it marinate for about an hour. You're gonna wanna make sure that you cover the bowl though before you put it in the fridge.
For this meal, we're gonna start with our zucchini. Chop off both ends. And then we're gonna stick it in this, what's called a spiralizer. It's great if you'd like some healthy alternatives to pasta. Helps you create noodles out of vegetables. And then yeah, just look how fun these are. Get these long, kind of fun noodles that you can use for any kind of pasta. Here's our cucumber. Next, we're gonna go ahead and add the remaining ingredients into the bowl. So we'll start with our cilantro, some green onion, crushed red pepper, lime zest, lime juice, and a little bit of teriyaki. Finally, we add our fresh diced mango. We're gonna give this all a nice toss to get it all together.
All right, I've gone ahead and preheated my oven to 400 degrees, and I put a nice sheet of parchment paper on my baking sheet. Even if you have a nonstick, you're gonna wanna use the parchment paper because this can get a little messy. I'm gonna start with putting in a small bowl some of my walnuts, about 2 tablespoons of syrup, and just a little pinch of salt. Give that a good mix. All right, so you're gonna wanna put these on your tray in a nice even layer. Bake it for about 5 to 10 minutes until the syrup gets really nice and brown and bubbly. While we're doing that, we're gonna get started on our oven baked zucchini fries and a little date night dessert. So we're gonna start by cutting up our zucchini. You wanna make sure that you get the slices nice and even so that they hit that French fry texture. And honestly, like that's kind of what I love about this dish, is that, you know, when you're craving the French fry, that nice, crispy, salty, savory taste, but you want something that's a little bit healthier, this is a really good way to go about it. All right, so I'm gonna move all of these to one side so that I can go to my next step. I'm gonna mix up 2 bowls of ingredients. In one bowl over here, I've got 2 eggs and I'm gonna put in a little milk and give that a good whisk. Next bowl, we're gonna mix together our dry ingredients. So I've got here some crisped oats, little Parmesan cheese, got some parsley, some onion powder, little garlic powder, and we're gonna add a pinch of salt. Give that a good mix. We're gonna use this to coat our zucchini sticks so they get that nice French fry crispiness. First, you're gonna put the zucchini into the bowl with the milk and the eggs. When these are nice and coated, you'll transfer them to the next bowl. So when you line these on your baking sheet, you're gonna wanna make sure that you spread them apart so that they're able to get a nice crisp on them. If they're too close together, they could get a little soggy. All right, so now that I've got these on my tray, I'm gonna go ahead. I've preheated my oven to 425 degrees. I'm gonna bake them for around 12 to 15 minutes. I wanna make sure that they get that nice crispy texture on it. I'm gonna spray them with just a little bit of cooking oil. You wanna use only a little bit because if you use too much, they're gonna get a little soggy. Let's get these into the oven.
For our next step, we'll be cooking the shrimp. So we'll be putting that on this tray, and I'm just gonna pat them down with just regular old kitchen paper towels, so that we can get a good sear on them when we throw them into the pan. Next, a little salt and pepper. Now for this dish, we are leaving the tails on, and you're getting way more depth of flavor coming from the shrimp and a little more better presentation at the end. Next thing we'll do is add our oil to the pan. We'll go ahead and add our shrimp. They really only need to be cooked to 145 degrees, so if you have a thermometer at home, you can check that yourself. So it's about 1.5 minutes per side. So while these are cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and get our zoodle salad plated, and that looks really good. Alrighty, once we have these shrimp flipped, we'll let them cook for about a minute longer, and then we're gonna go ahead and add our teriyaki. We're just gonna make sure they're all evenly coated with that sauce. We're gonna go ahead and place them on the salad. All right, let's just top it with a little cilantro for a garnish. And what we have is a delicious looking family meal.
So now we're going to make our salmon. Before we get started, you wanna make sure that your skillet is nice and hot, so this is gonna render a really nice crisped up skin. We also wanna make sure that we're putting in a little cooking spray so we don't have any sticking issues. We're gonna go skin side down first. Those nice sounds, this is gonna be really, really beautiful. Add a little salt and pepper. We're gonna let that cook there for about 2 minutes until the skin gets a really nice crispy layer to it. So now we're gonna go ahead and give it a good flip. And now we're gonna sear the other side of the salmon, so it's also just gonna be so delicious and gorgeous. All right, one more flip. Using the fresh, never frozen salmon is really key for this. It just adds a great layer of freshness and it's perfect for date night. And now we're going to add our candied walnuts. So these have now cooled, we've broken them up. They look absolutely incredible. Just sprinkle them nicely over top on the salmon. I've preheated my oven to 400 degrees. We're gonna pop this cast iron into the oven for about 5 minutes until the salmon's cooked through. All right, so this is fresh out of the oven, and I mean, just, it looks so incredible. The salmon has been seared, it's just perfectly browned, the walnuts crisp on top. I just cannot wait to eat this. So we're gonna plate it first. Some beautiful pieces here, oh my goodness. For a little bit of a top, I'm going to take some arugula here, and I've got a little bit of vinegar, and just a little more syrup. Give that a good mix and put it right on top of our salmon fillets. This looks so amazingly good.
So let's get started on making our strawberry cheesecake frozen yogurt. First, we're gonna start with our yogurt and get it right into the food processor. We're using a food processor today, but if you have a blender, that works too. Then our honey. Freeze-dried strawberries. We're gonna add our cheesecake bits. We're just gonna pulse it so we don't lose any of that texture of those nice cheesecake bits. All right, once we've done that, we're gonna add everything into our 8x8 cooking dish. Smooth out the base. And then we're going right into the freezer for about 45 minutes. So it's been 45 minutes. So our next step is we're gonna take our dessert and we're gonna fold in all of the edges. And we do this so we can get a nice, even freeze for the entire frozen yogurt. Man, this looks really good. And put it back in and do this every half hour for the next 2.5 hours. It's time to plate our delicious strawberry cheesecake frozen yogurt. Alrighty, once we get those scooped out, We're just gonna garnish with these fresh, delicious strawberries and a couple graham crackers. And that's it for me in this delicious meal. Let's check back in with Chef Samantha.
Now we're going to make our chocolate coffee truffles. We're gonna start by turning on our burner, and I'm gonna have it going to about a medium level heat, and I'm gonna add in our heavy cream. And we're gonna work it until it comes to a low, slow boil. This process usually takes about 2 minutes. All right, so now that I've got my cream at a boil, I'm going to add in my Connolly's Original Country Cream, some instant coffee, so this is going to smell amazing. And you're gonna wanna stir that to make sure that all of the coffee is incorporated. All right, so now that all of the coffee is melted, I'm gonna go ahead and add my chocolate. And with that, I'm gonna add another little pinch of salt. Now we're gonna stir this until all of the chocolate is melted and we've got just a beautiful, saucy, coffee, delicious chocolate. And then as soon as that's done, looks so good, we're gonna turn off the heat and remove the pot from the stove. All right, while the chocolate's still hot, we're going to add in some walnuts and we're gonna mix those in until all of the walnuts are just coated in this chocolate. And we're gonna put this back in the fridge for around 45 minutes or until it's nice and firm so then we can make the truffles. All right, it is time to make our truffle balls. Now I just pulled this out of the fridge. It's the perfect consistency, so they're gonna hold up really well. And you're just gonna scoop a nice amount right on there and put it on your tray. All right, so now that we've got a couple, we're gonna go ahead and form our truffles. So I'm just gonna take one of these beautiful little truffle balls and roll it up until we get sort of the shape and consistency that we want with that. Go ahead and dip them into our cocoa powder. Give it a nice toss. Oh, this is gonna be so good. So when you're all done, you're going to have this beautiful chocolate coffee truffle. These turned out amazing. I wanna go check in with Chef Brandon and see what he's cooked up.
This is amazing. The maple walnut crust really takes us to another level.
You have outdone yourself with these zucchini noodles. They're so light and citrusy, just so delicious. And they'd be perfect for a date night too, or any night.
I agree. And these truffles, fantastic. The richness, the chocolatiness, it's exactly what you want in a truffle.
And I am loving this strawberry cheesecake frozen yogurt. It's the perfect finish after the zucchini noodle salad. Make sure that you like the video and subscribe to the ALDI YouTube channel and leave us a comment. Let us know what you'd like to see us cook next.
I'm gonna try anything.